What's the most brutal comeback you've ever heard? When my younger brother was about 13, I noticed he had come home from school with a bit of a black eye and I asked him how he'd gotten it. He wouldn't tell me what had happened and I thought he seemed a bit ashamed when I asked him about it. So I assumed he'd lost a fight and I left it alone. A few weeks later, I heard what had happened from one of his friends who witnessed the event. There was a kid named Joe who went to school with my brother who he'd known since he'd started primary school at about 5 or 6 years old. Now Joe was a bit of a jerk. His father had died at a young age. I suspect this was why Joe was always quick to fly off the handle and had a hard time fitting in. He had a reputation for winding people up and generally being a pain in the ass when he was around. My mom was friends with his mom, and I knew that Joe was usually a good kid at home, but acted out because he lacked support, and I know he still took his dad's death pretty hard. He would run his mouth about anything or anyone that he wanted to, but he usually wouldn't resort to actual violence. A few days before the incident, our father had just gotten a bonus from work and bought himself a sleek new sports car which has a bit of a feminine look to it. Joe had decided to choose this as his ammo for having a laugh at my brother's expense on the bus ride home. Joe said, "Hey, does your dad do his nails and style his hair? He's driving a girl's car." My brother replied with, "What does your dad drive? A coffin?" When I asked my brother about why he lost the fight, he told me he was so ashamed after he said it that he just took the beating out of guilt. What's the most brutal comeback you've ever heard?